Ahoy hoy and welcome back to Where It's At, the show where I listen to all of the new music released in the past 2 months so you don't have to. I haven't made this show in a hot minute, but I figured that since it is the new year, I would start doing the show once again on a bi-monthly schedule. And for those of you asking what the hell even is this, allow me to explain. I'm going to talk about a couple of albums and EPs that came out in the last 2 months that I really enjoyed and just briefly run through them real quick. This could be music that everybody and their mothers are talking about, or it could be something so underground that you've just never even heard of it before. My goal is to promote brand new good music and to help you find a couple of albums along the way. And you get to stay up on things that are hip and cool, both of which are words that would not be used to describe your host. Anyway, I am not perfect. I wouldn't even say that I'm great. I don't even know if I'm good, but maybe that's just a conversation for a different time and place. But anyway, if I missed something that you thought should have been in this video, go down to the comments section and just let me know what album or EP you thought should have been on here. I should also mention that all the albums and EPs that I talk about here are going to be in alphabetical order. This is not like some ranking system where you think that you can figure out what my favorite album is going to be by going back to these videos later on. Okay, I might have overstayed my welcome in this intro here, so let's kick things off with the first album, Higher Lonely Power by Fireworks. Dude, this album is fucking awesome. It's certainly a departure from what I usually gravitate towards when it comes to heavy music, but this LP still delivers. I knew nothing about Fireworks going into this, and now I'm actually really excited to dig back deeper into their catalog. If you're going to listen to anything from this album, make sure you listen to the cut I Want to Start a Religion with You. Speaking of heavy music, I also really enjoyed the new Fucked Up album, One Day. This band has such a massive discography, yet still put out great music, and I simply do not understand it. With One Day, Fucked Up deliver yet again on another project with some real gems on here. They work through unconventional subgenres to craft intriguing and engaging tracks. Nothing feels too out of place or uselessly added, which is typically my fear when a band decides to stray from their usual path. Still, One Day kicks ass and is a welcomed addition to their catalog. Switching from one punk genre to the next, we have the synth punk duo Corinne with their latest release, Tear. I don't think I'll have to say too much on this because I did just release a whole ass video on this band last week, but alas, I will say that if you like 80s vibes with quasi-dark pop music, then this is the album for you. Fantastic electronic pop tunes across the board with those bleak and eerie synth undertones that you come to expect from any great dark wave outfit. I can all but guarantee that Tear is going to end up on some of my year-end lists. The only R&B project on this list comes in the form of Girl in the Half Pearl by Liv. Coming hot off the heels of her latest LP, Couldn't Wait to Tell You, Liv delivers yet again on another stellar collection of songs. The entire album is an experience gracefully performed and sequenced throughout. Y'all already know that I'm an album person and not really a playlist person, and this album is the exact reason why. Just sit your ass down and give this a full proper spin and you will not regret it. Moving on, we have Narrowhead with Moments of Clarity. Once again, this is a perfectly solid bunch of tracks. The album's soundscape is stretched more than their previous releases, and I personally think it works out great. The songwriting and construction are both above par, constantly hitting you with blow after blow of heavy shit. This might be my favorite release from Narrowhead up to this point, but I guess you'll just need to wait to learn more on Monday when I release my So You're Interested In on Narrowhead. Until then, listen to Moments of Clarity as a warm-up for what's to come. Alright, let's pull back the curtains here for a second. This video is being recorded on March 1st, and I finished writing it on February 28th, which means that sometimes I don't get a chance to listen to an album as soon as I would like to, or as many times as I would like to, and that's the case with Parannoul's After the Magic. I was huge on To See the Next Part of the Dream, and I was really excited for this project to come out, but unfortunately I just kind of forgot to listen to it up until like 2 days before finishing the script. So that's a long roundabout way of me saying that I love this album. I think it's a refreshing look on the emo genre, but I need to spend more time with it in order to write more about it, and unfortunately I just didn't really get that time. For now, please forgive me, and trust me when I say this album will put you in some serious feels. Scalp's Black Tar is another great release from Closed Casket Activities. This thing fucking rips. The riffs are bigger than even the best stoner metal band, the vocals are absolutely disgusting, and this whole LP is massive despite not even being 13 minutes long. The wall of sound looks like a flimsy fence when compared to this record. Scalp is one of those aggressive bands on Closed Casket that hasn't blown up quite yet, and I'm really hoping that this is the record that pushes them over the edge. So I'm gonna be real with y'all, I did not really care for the last record put out by this next artist, Shame. name. I wasn't really a Drunk Tank Pink guy, but I am absolutely a Food for Worms guy. This record is super solid all the way through, even during its weirder jaunts. I haven't really had the chance to dig into Food for Worms yet, but damn, there are a lot of interesting ideas crammed into this LP. I'm very excited to come back to this soon and see what I missed on my initial listens. Before I get into the EPs, I would briefly like to touch on the new Swiss Army Wife record, Medium Gnarly. This is chock full of emo tunes. It's short too, with a runtime under 20 minutes, which is always great in my opinion. It's definitely traditionally rooted, but it still flexes its creative muscle with those modern emo flares. If you're looking for some new great DIY emo, then I absolutely recommend checking out Swiss Army Wife's Medium Gnarly. Alright, let's talk some EPs before I close this video out. Before any of you mouth breathers decide to start typing like your phone is on fire, let me explain why I chose Ice Spice's Like. No, it's not perfect, and no, it's not changing the way that we perceive music, but I'll be damned if this isn't a fun project. Some awesome beats, vocals, and production are littered across this entire thing. I love Ice Spice's attitude on this record, as it feels upfront and genuine while also having some really good one-liners and quips. I'm not like a better person because I like this EP, but I'm certainly not a bad person for thinking that Like is actually a pretty damn good project. I also wanted to mention the new One Step Closer EP, Songs for the Willow. It's just 3 tracks, but I believe that we are beginning to see the transition of One Step Closer from a bigger hardcore band into the next wave of turnstiles. That is not a bad thing or a critique of their music, it's just an observation and feeling that I have. That should not offend either of these bands, as I do think that One Step Closer is going to be the next big band out of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. There are some great tunes on Songs for the Willow that have a bit more of a radio-friendly appeal than their previous project, This Place You Know. I'm very excited to see the projection and budding career of this fantastic run for cover artist. And that's all that we have for this edition of Where It's At. As you can tell, I missed a lot of stuff in this video. I listened to a lot of new music, but obviously I can't listen to it all. So if you think that I missed out on a new and noteworthy LP or EP, let me know in the comments. Links to all of the projects discussed here will be located in the video description box below. Also, I left a link down there for my music board account. I know that I'm not a critic, like, at all, and if you think that I am, then you missed the entire point of this channel. But Music Board is a great app that I use to keep track of all the albums that I listen to and write a couple of sentences about them, so if you're intrigued to hear the other things that I listened to in these past 2 months, go to that Music Board account and see what I had to say. Be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this every other month, along with a show called So You're Interested In that comes out twice a week, where I go through an artist's discography and pick out some of the best starting points in order to get into their catalog. I also do a show called Stacks of Wax that comes out once a month, where I go through my record collection A through Z to really flex the cool and rare records that I own. That's all, besides my usual reminder to go and support your local record store if you are able to, along with the local artists in your area. And, well, until I see you next time, happy listening.